What's up, YouTube? It's Elijah the Hero, and I know it's been a while since you've seen me. I took a little break. Easter weekend, family was out going to visit people for Easter. You know, I have a daughter, so gotta take her out and about, see her, see different people, see different things, you know. So I took a little break, but now I'm back. I'm going to be consistent, and I'm even back with something new. I know you already read the title. This is going to be a new series starting today. We're going to drop it every Wednesday. I'm just going to take different properties that I think deserve or need a video game, kind of think about it, think what would that video game be. And I know a lot of people are probably going to, get on me for mainly picking different animes that need games. And, I always want to keep it to like a higher standard because I feel like anime games are at a pretty low standard right now. They're either an arena fighter, a Muso game, or a lazy ass open world game. Well, actually, those are not really bad. Kakarot is pretty good. People slip on that. World Seeker is pretty good too, and people slip on that. But we're not here to talk about those games. We're here to talk about Blue Lock and what a Blue Lock video game would look like. And I know you're like, hey, Elijah, chill out. There's already an anime soccer game out, and it's pretty damn good. I think Blue Lock could be even better. Let me tell you why. Before we actually start talking about the mechanics and gameplay and what I really want the game to look like, for those who haven't watched Blue Lock, it's a newer anime. It just aired last season. It also finished a couple weeks ago, actually. It was pretty good. It was a well talked about anime of last season. So let me give you a little introduction. The story begins with Japan's elimination from the 2018 FIFA World Cup, which promotes the Japanese Football Union to start a program scouting high school players who will begin training in preparation for the 2022 Cup. Isaki Ichui, a forward, receives an invitation to this program after his team loses the chance to go to nationals because he passed to his less skilled teammate who missed without trying to make the game-changing goal by himself. Their coach will be Ego, who attempts to destroy Japanese loser football by introducing a radical new training regimen, isolate 300 young strikers in a prison-like institution called Blue Lock, and put them through rigorous training aimed at creating the world's greatest egoist striker. Now, if you haven't watched Blue Lock, I do want to give you a warning. There will be light spoilers because where I'm ending the game is going to be ending right after season 1, basically. So it's like an arc after season 1, but it's a pretty big arc. And I feel like that's a great ending point to a Blue Lock video game. So I just want to let you know that there will be spoilers. I will be talking about the individual arcs also and how your character plays a role in that. So with all that being said, I just want to let you guys know there are spoilers in this video. If you have not seen Blue Lock, watch that first and come back, and then let me know what you think of Blue Lock 2 in the comment section below. But let's get into it. Alright, so for my version of a Blue Lock video game, I think it only has one route it could really go without it being just basically a generic anime game. I think that this should be a where you create your own character, go into the Blue Lock, and go from there. And actually, this works really well because there's a character named Hajime Nishioka who was actually hurt during the second selection. So your character would replace him in the story. So you would go from the first selection to all the way to the third selection playing his story basically. But amassing your own kind of allies and going through the game your own way, but you would be filling in the blank from him basically since he didn't really do much in the story. Okay, with that being said, we can finally really start talking about what this story would look like. So in the beginning of the game, you would definitely start in the first selection where 25 teams are divided into 5 sectors to perform a round robin match where the top 2 teams of each sector will survive and the remaining 3 teams are expelled. However, there is still a chance for the most dominant strikers. So with you being trying to be a striker, of course, it'd be kind of a tutorial area because there's only about 2 matches or 3 matches I think they play in the first selection. So that would be a tutorial, getting used to the game, getting used to the game's mechanics, which we would also talk about a little bit later. This is just about the story right now. So, you would go through those. And I think in this section, story only characters who were just made for the game to make it feel more unique that you're actually in the Blue Lock experience. So these will be like created characters for the game. You know, maybe this could be a way to expand the story, you know, create your own like little dialogue and have dialogue with other characters who are not actually in the anime. So it feels more unique to you. This could go two ways. Your team could be the team that wins the games, the top two teams, or they could be the team that loses and only you continue, so that it really wouldn't break the story of Blue Lock itself, and it would still maintain its integrity, kind of. So I think that's how that could go. That's how we would handle the first arc. For the second selection, the remaining forwards must form a group of 5 at the end of the second selection to advance to the next stage. In this section, this is where a new mechanic of the game would be introduced. Your flow or ego would be introduced into this part of the game, and I do think that there should be 2 different states. Flow and ego are 2 individual things. I'll talk about that a little bit more. But in the second selection, you'll start off facing against Barrow. You'll lose. You'll just fight with a regular NPC character who nobody really cares about. You'll lose. Barrow will pick you up, so you'll be a part of Barrow and Narahaya's team. Then you'll play against another team and you'll lose that match, and then continue going on. And then this is where the game kind of spins into its own territory for you. So I feel like in this part of the game, you can either win all the rest of the matches and then go up, or you can lose and then you'll go down and just be with in-game characters or characters that were made for the story, and you'll have to find your way back up. And then once you get to 4, you'll just automatically lose that game, so that you're picked up by a regular team, and then you'll go on and then you'll face the world's best, and then you'll go into the next arc. And this will bring us to the third selection arc. The remaining 35 players have to choose a team A, B, and C to prove their skills and coexist with the top 6 Blue Lock players. The best 11 players will be chosen to form the Blue Lock 11 to challenge Japan's U20 team. Since this arc is just a series of battles with the top people in Blue Lock, I feel like this would be a great time for you to change your character's attributes and level up what you're missing, because you will be leveling up your character. It will have some RPG elements, so you'll make your character a little bit better and to see what you're lacking. But you know, you can't change everything because, you know, this is a stat-based game. So you'll just have time to up your speed, you know, strengthen yourself and do what you really need to do, or what you can do, before the final arc. And now for the final arc of the game, and this will be spoiler territory, so you have been warned one last time. In a national representation match for the chance to secure control of the Japan national team and show their skills to the world. But with Sai Itoshi leading the team and with Shindo joining him, how will Blue Lock overcome the immense challenge? So with this being the final arc of the game, this is everything that you've been working for, your character's stats building, and, you know, trying to just make the strongest striker you can. This will be a hard match because it will be just the final match of the game, probably cutscene heavy. There's gonna be a lot of good moments. Now, the score for the U20 arc was really low, but I think since this is a game, that should not matter, and you should just try to score as much as you can. But you won't really get the chance to score as much as you think you can, because you know you are playing against Sai Itoshi and Shindo. They're not just gonna let you score, so it's gonna be a hard type of game to play, and you know, you're just gonna have to try your best to win it. And I think that is the best place for it to end. I do think there should be 2 endings to it, one if you lose and one if you win. You know, Blue Lock just shuts down, you know, original game ending, and then if you do win, it goes with the story, but you know, your character is just hopeful and ready for whatever comes next, and that's how it would end for you. So let's talk mechanics, and I'm going to use Captain Tsubasa kind of as a template, or use your imaginarian, you know, think it's Blue Lock. So how do I think Blue Lock would play and differ from Captain Tsubasa? Well, I do think the way it could differ is that Captain Tsubasa is a very like stamina oriented game, and basically all you're doing is you're using the strikers to break down the stamina of the goalie. And I don't think that should be the case for the Blue Lock game. I think that since ego is such a big part of Blue Lock, that ego should be what allows you to score in Blue Lock. So I do think there should be like basically a 3-tier step to getting to your ego full. And I think the way that you can get your ego full is, first, you'll be in your base like you're just a regular player. Your stats are not that good. But then as you play the game, you pass, dribble, and, kind of do selfish things in the game, because, being an egoist is being selfish at the end of the day. You do selfish things that builds up your flow. So once you're in your flow state, your stats are boosted in that moment. Like, say they're boosted for maybe 30 seconds. But then to really score is that you need to unlock your ego. So once you hit your ego point in the game, that is when you can actually score a goal on a defender. So basically you're just going to be playing soccer as normal, but I think there should be little highlights of when you can do things by yourself, like i.e. stealing the ball from your teammates, or the longer you have the ball, the more your ego bar or your ego meter increases throughout the match. So once you finally hit to that ego state, you can actually score. And when you're in your flow state, you can actually assist in scoring. So I think that's how the game should work. Instead of just being a stamina game, you just keep actually trying to hit the ball and scoring, and just break down the goalie's stamina, and then once his stamina is broken, you can score. I don't think that would work for Blue Lock. So I think that would be a better way to actually handle the Blue Lock game. And I think that would create some high intensity moments in the actual game, because in your flow state, you're better at assisting and reading the field. But then when you're at your ego state, you can score a goal by yourself and break through the defense. And you'll have to decide, would it be rather, should you just pass and assist somebody in scoring and then your meter goes down? Or is it better right now to just, go crazy by yourself and try to get to your ego state and then score by yourself? So you'll have to decide what's better in the situation depending on what's going on in the game. And last part I want to talk about is the character customization and how that should play. So I feel like it should kind of be like Xenoverse, where you get to pick if you want to be a Saiyan, an Earthling, or a Namekian. I feel like in Blue Lock there should be 3 archetypes that you can really have, and it should be a strength type, kind of like Baro or Kogami, an all-arounder like Isagi and Nagi, or a speed type like Chigure and Loki. So those should be the 3 archetypes that you have to pick. And then throughout the game, you can manage your stats and put points into a certain attribute. If you want to be basically a little bit stronger, so that you're not getting the ball stolen from you, you're not getting bodied and tackled and things like that. Or you want strength and power, so you can power through those things and then hit the ball really hard and have a better chance of scoring. So it's basically how you want to play it, and you could differentiate those stats. And I think that it should kind of play like 2K, where because you picked a certain archetype, you don't really get to boost your other stats as much as those stats are. So you can boost your speed to a certain point if you pick a power type. Like, you can't boost your speed all the way up. You can't be an all-arounder. You can't be Noel yet. You're not at that level. So I think that's how it would go. And I do think that you should have special animations for when you do go into your flow state. I think you should get to pick the color that you want it to be, and then you should also get to pick how you want your eyes to look for when you go into your ego state, and what that looks like, your aura looks like around you. And then for that, I do think you should get to pick what kind of ego you're forming and what that looks like, because every character has their own individual egos and what they look like. And I do think that the developers should try to find a way so that you can customize your own ego aura and what that looks like really, and what's special about your ego. I couldn't really figure out what a created character's ego should look like. So that would be something I would leave up to developers to figure out. And that's what my Blue Lock video game would look like. Let me know what you guys think. What would you add or what would you take out of the game? Leave in the comment section below because I really want to hear you guys' opinion. This is going to be a continuing series. I think the next thing I'm going to talk about is probably going to be John Wick and what a John Wick game could look like, because I did just see the movie and it's fresh in my mind, and I think we need a John Wick game. So that's probably going to be the next thing. No promises. Let me know how I did. This is my first time doing a video like this, so cut me a little bit of slack because I did this with no script, but I'm ranting. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I've been Elijah the Hero. Peace. Thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Push the notification bell to be notified for new videos. And remember, have a great day.